Good morning, everybody. I hope your day's going well. I hope you had a great long weekend and you were replenished in some way. I know this, wanting to come in and talk a wee bit about the energetics of our time at this moment. And I know, it's changing for everybody. And everyone is in a different space in time with it, of course. But I just wanted to share what I've been seeing, sensing, and energetically going into, really. But one of the things that we're shifting through is definitely in our physical body, as you all know, and I know a lot of you know this. You're moving a lot of the old cellular out, and you're working through a lot of processing of emotional states, yeah? And so, I mean, it's not you sort of, I want to say, never going to stop having to do that, because it's always going to be something that is going to just continue. But what happens is it gets better, it gets easier to do. The stuff isn't so deeply embedded that you have to go into a 2-hour process of any sort. Some will, and some, may continue to do that. But what I'm saying is it gets easier. So the stuff becomes more shallow in a sense, and you can identify it quicker, and it moves through easier. So with that, one of the things that I've been seeing a lot of in bodies is in the base of the spine, so right in the tail end of the spine, there's these orb type, light type orbs that are sitting in the spine. And what I've been seeing is there's around maybe 4 or 5 of these. And what they're doing is they're going to, hi Mel, to you girlfriend. What they're going to do is that they're actually holding old ancient coding, and these are moving through the body. So they're going to dissolve in their time. So they're not all going to be moving through and dissolving at the same time. From what I've been told and indicated to me, is that they're moving through as you become more aware of who you truly are, your true self. The more you become aware of that, the more these codes, and with that, these codes are going to, it's like a dissolving. The way that I see it is like a dissolving, like they dissolve, and then these codes are being sent through your spinal column and igniting the glands up here in your head, in your crown. And what this is doing is this is bringing more awareness into and with your light body. So again, when we're talking about the light body, this is your crystalline body. This is your God chariot, basically. God as in creator, great spirit, whatever word and term you want to use. I'll put God in there because we all know what God, what we're talking about when we say that. But for me personally, it's great divine, the divine spirit, really, and or creator for me. Divine creator is, what I often use. So anyway, this body carries more light for you. So it is your light form. And what it also is for me, and somebody else might come through and say that's a whole lot of bullpucky, but for me, this is what I understand from my own personal experiencing in my evolutionary growth here on the planet, and what I've seen in clients' bodies and through the learning stages of all of the many hundreds of people that have got on my healing tables, and what I've learned from them, because we might teach, but we also learn from our clients, our students that come through. So in respect to that, I'm very grateful of those who have trusted me enough to jump on my table or come and do whatever it might be, processing anything. So anyway, the way that I've seen these is that, and what I'm going to say is that the light body doesn't have the memory. So your cellular body holds the memory, so your soul holds the memory of every single experience you've ever gone through in your lifetime and all of your existence throughout time and space. So with that, what happens is it embodies and embeds into the cells of the body when you take your first breath. And we've said this many times, and I know that you get that. Those of you who understand it, understand it. Those of you who don't, go and have a look and study it a wee bit, because once you get to understand how your actual physical form here works in respect to your soul, your essence, your light body, then you start turning on very, very quickly too. With that awareness, you start turning on your magic, your power within your form. And this is the stuff that I love teaching. I love experiencing with this myself and learning it for myself and my body and what I've gone through and how my light body was activated in 2011 and what that means when somebody else is going through that. I can identify these spaces. So anyway, what I'm seeing is these orbs that are sitting in the base of the spine, and this may be creating for some people a lot of lower back stuff. And these orbs are, as I said, are dissolving with awareness of self and how you roll as a being here. And knowing yourself completely on a very deep level, knowing yourself, your true self. We might all know our character and the character that we're playing out here on the planet, and we might have, issues with that. But I'm talking about your true essence of who you truly are. And there's many spaces that we might have gone through in that evolution. We might have been Arcturian, we could have been, Palladian, we could have been all sorts of different races or experiences of being on different planets and experience being on this planet very, lots and lots of times, many times as old souls. So it's recognizing those journeys, yes, and recognizing your gifts that you come. When I realized I'd been in an Arcturian life experience, and that I have an Arcturian family and clan from those experiences here with me now. That added things to my kete. It added things to the gifting that I can bring in. It was through that I saw the alien implants, negative alien implants in bodies. It came in a way through the healing that I was experiencing and doing. Healing as in offering a space for those on my table or in my chairs to be able to go through their healing experiences. So in that, what these orbs are doing are they're releasing with your awareness and your consciousness. They're releasing these light codes into your body. So these light codes are holding ancient wisdoms of your journeys, of yourself, of your experiences, of you in your essence. So as I was going to say, when we experience all these different lifetimes, different forms we might have been in, the tree, whatever it might have been, and being different races throughout the galaxy, with that, what we are before and in it, and always, is consciousness. That is what we are. So for me, that's where I go. I bypass, yes, I've had a look, I'm not spiritually bypassing anything. If you know me, you know that I've dived into all sorts and I've experienced much. Because I don't bypass, is what I've done, knowing that I was in that Arcturian life and knowing that I've had many other galactic lifetimes, and that there's, parts of me that are all of that. What I do is I go to consciousness. And that is it. That's the space, and we might call it source if that's what you want to call it. And recently I've been recognizing that there is no vibration for me, in a sense. I can't identify vibration and energy like I used to, and I was sort of concerned around that. I was thinking, why is that? Knowing that I had come into my own, a different vibrational space. We're always shifting our vibrational space all the time. We're never staying still. It doesn't stay still. depending on your emotional roller coaster as well. That's all vibrational space that you're taking and riding with. And I know through my journey, it's raising that, and that's what you're all doing too. You're all raising your frequency in whatever way it is that you're doing that. So even with doing nothing, this energy on the planet is going to shift you. That's what is going to happen. We're only going to get into 5G or 5D. That's funny. We're only ever going to get into 5D or 4D by being that ourselves. It's not that it's going to come into the planet and we've got to get there. We are bringing it onto this planet. We're helping this planet, this beautiful mother who was Lady Gaia, she presents herself to me as now. We're helping her also raise her frequency by, if you just think about being in the body of that is ascending. All right, we're all doing it together, okay? And that takes away the separation state of, oh, I'm doing this and that's because of this, and it's going to help her. Well, we're actually her. We are this. We are this consciousness. We are the vibration. We're not separate to anything. There is no separation. So with these orbs, what they're doing is they're releasing these codings into the spinal column, which is feeding into your cellular, which is feeding into throughout your full body, but it's feeding into your DNA, and that's going to shift and help you to understand yourself more and get to know more of yourself, right? So that'll sort of open doors for you to go deeper into who you really are, what your consciousness is. And in talking around the no, can't feel the energy stuff the same as I used to, it's more of a knowing. I don't need to feel it anymore. I just know it. It's there. This is what it is. But why it only just came to me the other day that when you come into that actual source space, that consciousness, nothing else, when you're pure consciousness, there is no vibration. It actually isn't a vibration. It just is. And so that was the aha moment. Somebody said that, and I thought, oh my God, that's what it is. There is no vibration there. I know that. I've been there. I went to Nucleus and I've been there. So I get it. And so therefore that gave me now the understanding of where we're at really on this place and where we're coming to. So if that's happening for you, don't freak out about that. I was sort of not freaking out, but it was definitely, I question things all the time. I'm always asking, and then what? And what else? What else? And I go deeper into that understanding. So that was a big thing for me, to understand that and get that. So with these orbs, that's where I was heading. They are bringing more awareness. It's because, and when they, like I was saying, dissolving, then this is because you've become more aware of who you deeply are, your true self. The other thing that I've been seeing around all of these bodies, and not many bodies, but those obviously, that are in this space, okay, is that I've been seeing these rings, and they've been sitting around the bodies in the etheric, right? I'm talking, and I didn't understand what they were about. I did ask a question around them, but I wasn't really getting any reply or any sense of knowing around them. Only that these were going to, they might be visible right now, but they were going to absorb into the field, into the bodies as such, right? And just recently, I've had a bit of an understanding around that as well. And this was only put up the other day. It was a lady sent me an article that was written up by Lisa Renee. And in that she was talking about these rings, and this is what these are, these rings that are coming through, that are altering or bringing back the sound body within the light body. So our sound body obviously had been tampered. I mean, so much has been tampered with, and we've been altered in so many ways through the, I have to say, the negative, the those who control. And so we are coming back into our purity of spirit, our full consciousness and clear conscious awareness, clear being, clear essence, clear in every single way. So all of the distortion that we've had to endure is now coming to a finalization. We're finally coming to the end of all of that. So many things are going to come on board for you that are going to be really relevant, really important, and really bring you into your new world, because we are creating this new world. When we talk about that, it's like, if you look back, somebody said to me, how do we know, how do we be in this new world? How do we bring that in? We bring it in by releasing the old that's holding us up, that's sabotaging our life every day, whether it's through your emotional, your mental, or your spirit. It's about clearing it out, getting it on board into a clearer space, releasing it, transmuting it, processing it, so that you stand in a new space in time here on this holy land. So in that, and with that, what you're doing is you're now being able to, with really being in that, right? I'm not talking about doing a little bit and thinking, oh yeah, I'm all good now. It's that riding those waves. You saw my post, we're really effed now, when it was the election and the election night, and I have taken it down, but I was going to come in the next day and apologise for that, but actually what I am is I'm real. I have emotional shit that comes up sometimes with certain things. If I'm paying attention to them, if I move out of the centre and come out into that world out there, it rattles me. And we all get rattled by it. Be real about that. Don't try and shove it down and pretend you're not feeling the things you're feeling, because that's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to get you anywhere. All you're doing is deceiving yourself. All you're doing is you're taking longer to get to the place that we're all trying to get to, which isn't an end result. There is no final place. We're just purely on a journey that is here in this, on this planet with her. We're her. We are her. We're everything. So there's no them, us. It's all, we're all one, we're all an aspect of self. So when there's things facing you and in front of you, people, places, anything that is sitting in front of you that you are not liking, then look within yourself at what that is. Look at the threads that are sitting within you that tie you into that you don't like out there. Because that is the answer to it. You're not going to shift that out there until you shift this in here. And I'm not going to tell you about how wonderful my world is, because that just pisses people off that aren't in that space. But I know the energy and the work that I've done in myself, within my body, releasing the pains, the distortions, the illness, the stuff. Releasing cancer lesions throughout my body, repairing 2 broken toes. I have done those things because I know how we work. I know how this body works. And I'm still improving it. Don't get me wrong. We're never at the top of our game. We've always got something else. And it's about improving ourselves every day, looking at ourselves. And I know it's not about putting ourselves down. It's not about doing that. It's about simply seeing the things that you wish to shift. Simply seeing the things that aren't working for you. Simply seeing the things that are pissing you off in some way, and those things are always within self. So it's just that, it's purely looking at that and shifting it, doing the inner work, because you've experienced it in the body. You have to go into the body to release it, right? So back to these rings, right? We get off them. But anyway, back to the rings. The rings are about the sound waves. It's about that they're coming in. They are there to, what are we talking about? Well, they're coming back in to help us move through the distortion that we had around our sound body. So everything has a body as such. There's your emotional body, there's your pain body, there's your sound body, there's your light body. So everything's got a high five, Jen. There's a sound body, right? And I always felt like, you know how we get shut up all the time? That's part of it, I believe. This is part of the program. And you know, even when it comes down to our intimate sexual relations, how loud are we? You know, some might be really loud and some might not be. Some are doing it on the quiet. Some are really holding on to the sound within their body because of people listening or whatever the program might be. The way that we hide ourselves, the way that we never speak up about things. And this is part of these rings are coming in to repair the distortion we've had in our sound body. That made so much sense for me. And I've been asking for that question, although that answer to come in for quite a while, because I've been seeing these rings around people for a very long time. And like I said, saw them around myself, and then I started seeing them around others as well, and I wasn't, like I said, sure about what they were. All I knew was, and all I knew was that they were going to sort of, like these orbs within the base of the spine, they're going to dissolve into the field and improve us in many ways. So now that I have that information, it's sort of really come into, I can sort of see how it's all fitting, you know, how. And I was told at the beginning of 23, I think it was around 22, that sound was going to be really important. That it was time for us to learn how to bring our voice more into play. And of course, with everything that's gone on the planet over these last 4 years, all the hideousness, it's time for us to say no more, to say no, learn your no. Where is your no? Because until you start saying no, it's not going to go away. So it is about processing the stuff that's holding you back from even bringing up your no. You know, saying no to stuff, to people, to things that are happening. We have to. And even if we're not out there, I'm not out on the side of the road with placards, I'm not shouting it out everywhere in sense of being very public in that I'm in my present going out onto the roads and doing marches and all that. I do it this way. I do it with one-on-one clients. I do it in groups, public speaking. I do it, but I'm doing it in my way. So everyone's got their way to do it. And I'm not, and you just, you know, I don't mean, again, I'm not sort of saying about the battle. When we go into battle, what we're doing is it's this and them. It's us and them. It's not about that. It's knowing that every single thing that's happening on the planet is happening for a purpose. Everyone has to learn what they have to learn by going through whatever it is they're going through. We cannot manipulate it and pull everyone out of that when they're not ready to be pulled out. We can't do that. That's not our place to do that. We have to honour everyone's choices and what they need to learn from those choices. So as much as we might consider it to be hideous and crap and all the rest of the other words we might want to put in there, it is everyone's choice. But I am here to assist people in making choices that are going to better them in their life, that are going to help them move into a better space within themselves, within their life and their choices, if that's where they want to go. So these rings, I feel, are important in many ways, and I'm as I said, I haven't seen them around a lot of people, so I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know whether there's many that are moving in with that space in the sense of that, and what their purpose is. But I just know that there will be, and there is going to be, everybody moving through that. Those of you who are bringing more awareness to who you really are, into your conscious awareness, and really walking that here on the planet, because it's so important that you action your action. you. Like, there's no point sitting back and going, oh, I wish I could do that, I wish I could be like that, when we're not doing anything about that. The wishing is part of showing you what you really want, but it's not all just going to happen by sitting back and not actioning, because we came into form. This is what we're in. We're in a form. That means that we need to action things. We have physical things to do. And physical things, I mean, my garden's not going to get weeded if I don't get up and weed it. You know, I can sit here and wish those weeds away as much as I like, and they won't go until I weed the garden or I plant the plant. It's like sitting in that space. And then I can go into the deep energetics of all of that and say, actually, that could actually happen. Absolutely. But we're not there. We're not there. We're in a physical form. We're walking this planet in this form. And so I would suggest for every one of you to learn more about how your form works with your light, how it works, what it brings for you, what it's gifting you. And that's not everybody's choice, I get it, but that's something that would help you immensely for you to understand it. Make better choices. You know, I've just decided on 2 big major things in my life right now, and I know that they are absolutely the best choices I can make for myself to improve myself right now, because that's what I want to do. And what I've realized over my life is that, you know, if there's one thing this physical body wants to do for you, is to keep you alive. That's what it's here to do. That's its purpose. It's here to keep you alive. It's going to do everything it can to keep you alive. So what I realized was I had never really assisted it to do that. I'd never really looked at it like that, thought about it like that. I had never assisted it to be its best thing. And now I'm doing that. That's what I want to do, and I am doing it. It's already happening. It's been happening for a while. Is improving myself to be able to help my body live as long as it requires to live. Because otherwise I'm playing against it, and that didn't sit right with me. It's like, well, you've just been complacent about this all your life. Now it's time to actually bring it into being. And one of the other things that I always saw was that I was this body. I'm actually not this body. And I never got that. I used to hear people say it, but I never got it. Now I actually really understand that, and have done for a while now. But this body is not you. It's not who you are. Your mental and your physical will show on who you think you are. You know, I thought I was a big, fat, ugly whale. That's what I presented to the people. That's what I became, because that was my programming, suggested to me by people around me over my life. So I took that on as a program. And I realized that is not who I am. It's so not who I am. So all of these things make us respond to life and to the world in a way that is not really it's just not who we are. A lot of the things you'll be doing are perhaps not who you really are. So it's time to step up in your own life. I don't mean protesting to the world in any way. If that's your buzz, then that's your buzz. But again, if we go into battle, it's only working against ourselves, and we're only battling with ourselves. So look at things in your life, look at the way you present yourself. Is that what you want the world to see? Is that what you want the world to hear? You know, that post of, now we're really effed, that's not what I want the world to hear from me. That's not actually how I feel at all. It was a momentary thing. And that's what I'm saying. We'll have those emotional things that just trigger us in the moment when we step outside of self and look into this world. This world does not serve you in your best interests. It might show you where you need to improve yourself, yes, and that's a wonderful thing. Until you action that, it's not going to happen. Until you release the threads of self that are playing out into that world, this world's not going to change. Your world won't change. My world will change because I'm doing that. I'm releasing all of the things that are keeping me held in that world. So my world's changing, and my world is a beautiful world. So it's looking at self. It's always about self. It's always bringing you back to you. So these two things, the orbs and the rings around the bodies and in the body, right? So just know that your physical form is being altered. Your field is being altered. You are altering everything within you all the time. And to whatever gradient, whatever level it might be that you're doing it, is all at your own pace. Nobody's forcing you. There's no finish line. It's like we are in this continual process. So just be calm, just pay attention to you, be as loving as possible to yourself as you possibly can. Know that you have compassion within you that you give to others, or give it to yourself first and always. And honestly, love your life. Love it to the extreme, because it's a very short one really when we look at life here. And always know you're never alone, and there's always people you can reach out to assist you through whatever it is that you're going through. So much love, and thank you all for joining me. I see there's so many of you on, and I really appreciate all of you. I love you all so much, and I so love this life that we're all sharing. And I tell you what, it's coming into a point in here, my battery's getting very low. It's coming to a point in here where the 144,000 that we were are coming into their final stages of life in that distortion. So be kind to yourself. Know you've been a pioneer here that's helping this planet, these people, and yourself and your evolutionary journey. Much love.